Very good morning to everybody. Welcome to the CSIR and welcome to the AVI Afrique Summit. This is the fifth one. I want to see who's attended all 5 of these summits. Let me see. There's one veteran, 2 veterans. Just 2 of them. I think they deserve a round of applause. Well done. Who's here for the first time? Oh, that's awesome. Great to see you all. Good morning to you. My name is Aki Anastasiou. For those of you who don't know me, I do the traffic on 702. I'm very passionate about technology and aviation, and I've been very proud to be involved with this event for the last few years. And I'm a bit sad today, so please excuse me. We were going to cancel the event today because of Orlando Pirates' performance last night. It was terrible. I don't know what to say.
Innovation process is more open and increasingly involves collaborations within and across borders. ICT has become a key driver of innovation in all industries, and new global players have emerged. In this context, a major challenge for governments is to tap into and exploit global networks, to access new knowledges and markets while generating value locally. One of my pet subjects is cyber security. It is very interesting that the reliability and the more and more we're becoming reliable or reliant on networks and communications as we're streaming. What is the impact of that going forward? I always say we've been focusing more on physical security in the past at airports and in our facilities, but the more focus needs to be on cyber.
Regional integration is an extremely important concept that we've been struggling with for a very long time on the continent. We have 8 regional economic communities on the continent, and they often speak at odds to each other. We find that Southern Africa has SADC, but we also have COMESA. And some of COMESA's members are EAC members. So we have this biryani, or how else can I make it South African? It's often called a spaghetti bowl of membership. Baboti, that's a nice image. So we have this mix of membership that often creates loopholes where members can fall through. So if there's an agreement reached at SADC, a SADC member could opt to be a COMESA member in that moment and say, well, my ideals are being sorted out by COMESA. So the political nature of regional integration is very important.
So the flight simulator has 24 airport destinations, which means that we can actually create a number of what I call edu-flight plans. An edu-flight plan is a flight plan from one airport to the next airport, but then in it involves all these school subjects that are there, integrating that with the flights. Then as you saw in the video, I've been doing this in Soweto in Diepkloof for about 3 months now. And I've had some interest from a lot of people, and I then couldn't manage my time properly with being in Diepkloof and being at flight school at the same time. So I began to think about how do I then expose people and teach someone to do the very same thing that I'm doing. Then I came up with the idea of a digital flight instructor. What the digital flight instructor basically does, it replaces the need for a human being to teach a child or any person how to fly the simulator.
The radar today, everybody is dying to replace it with GPS technology. But for decades, it was the radar that helped air traffic controllers locate and separate aircraft. The RPAS. Removing the pilot from the aircraft raises important technical operational issues. To the extent to which it is being actively studied, even though we might not be ready to board a pilotless aircraft today, it will happen in the future. We need to plan and be ready for this. A milestone for South Africa and the African region is the operational development of the space-based ADSB in 2018. This will change surveillance as we know it. This being said, we need to plan as a continent to adapt our regional infrastructure to support all the future innovations in a timely and coherent manner.
So in Africa, the major airport, the top one airport, is clearly Joburg, far away than the others. And Cape Town is also a big one. And so how to connect such operations to the rest of the ATM network is the key challenge we want to see. Because the constraints are not only here on the surface, but there are upstream constraints here, downstream constraints, how to give a fair access to the runway, to the domestic flights, to the international flights is a real challenge.
CDM collaborative decision-making involves all stakeholders working together to make sure that flight profiles for airlines and users are optimized. And this is one way in which infrastructure can impact on environmental sustainability. Airport management techniques through greening initiatives, infrastructure impact on fuel burn created by air traffic management as far as routes, altitude, and weather. All these initiatives can contribute and affect fuel burn and carbon emissions.
Here, when you talk about the Chicago Convention, you're talking about an industry whose pollution is 1.8%. That is our global aviation pollution. And that is why when you look at the DC-10, the MD-11, and the 707s of this world, and you compare them with the Dreamliner, the 350, and the 321s, there is a huge difference. We are making quite a huge impact in terms of technology. You look in terms of the PBN, these are some of the improvements that we're doing, ATMs, and the runway infrastructure. So this is where now, in terms of the Chicago Convention, we have addressed and continuing to address issues of aviation and climate change.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final announcement for today. Remember, the last will be first and the first last. The date for Afrique 2017 is 25 to 27 October 2017. So 25 to 27 October next year. Please diarize this and communication will be sent out soon. And then, of course, what will be the theme for next year? It's very homey for us. In Africa, for Africa, by Africa, navigating the aviation business to suit the African markets within a global space. So we hope to see you there for that next year.